Good evening, successful people. Steve here with Success by the Book. And I call you successful people because if you're watching these videos, you're on your way. Right now, we are giving an overview of Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. And we've covered the first two sections in our previous videos. Today, we will be looking at part 3, How to Merit and Maintain Others' Trust. Now, before we get into it, I would like for you to do a few things. First, I'd like you to make sure that you're subscribed. Next, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And finally, please share this video on your social media accounts. All right, let's roll that intro. First, try to avoid arguments. Billy Graham was the 20th century's most influential preacher. In the 50s, Graham was preparing to do a spring crusade in London. The papers felt that his presence would do little. They wrote, "Religion in Britain is near death." As he did with many of his critics, Graham suggested a person-to-person meeting. Well, his critics mischievously suggested that they meet in a pub. They did. Rather than argue with them, Graham showed grace and goodwill. Night after night, 12,000 people filled the stadium to hear him preach. Graham knew that arguing with another person will rarely get you anywhere. Second, never tell anyone that they're wrong. I'm reminded of the story told by Zig Ziglar about 3 men applying for the same sales position. When each entered the boss's office, he asked each of them the same question. 2 plus 2 equals 5. What do you say about that? Well, the first one, he said, "Well, sir, anyone who's going any further than the second grade knows that 2 plus 2 actually equals 4. The boss thanked the applicant and told him that they would be in touch. When the second came in and was asked the same question, he tried to answer it more diplomatically, and he said, "Well, sir, please don't take offense to this, but most people would come to a different answer, and that would be 4. The boss thanked him and said he would be in touch. When the third man came in and was asked the same question, he replied, "Yes, sir, I think I understand what you're saying. However, to be sure, I'd like to repeat your question. It's my understanding that you said 2 plus 2 equals 9. Did I hear you correctly?" To that, the boss said, "No, what I said was 2 plus 2 equals 5. What do you have to say about that?" The applicant smiled and said, "Well, sir, I'd say that's a whole lot more like it." And he got the job. Third, admit your faults quickly and emphatically. One reason we find it so difficult to admit our faults is that we are inclined to forget the messages that apologies bear. We must remember that people rarely hold on to anger and disappointment when they can see that we view ourselves and the situation properly. When my wife ignores the last rule about never telling anyone that they were wrong and tells me that I am wrong, I might as well admit it. She's been right about me being wrong more times than I care to admit. Next, always begin in a friendly way. "I do not like that man," Abraham Lincoln once said. "I must get to know him better." If you believe that building a friendly rapport will be critical to achieving a certain outcome, using text, chats, or other short forms of communication isn't likely to get you very far. Proverbs 18:24 says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly." When you engage another in a friendly manner, you convey to him that he is someone worthy of friendship, someone you'd like to call friend. Entrepreneur Van Ternechek wrote, "Social media requires that business leaders start thinking like small-town shop owners. Engagement has to be heartfelt. Winning friends begins with friendliness." And to make sure that you access affinity. If you have an affinity with someone or something, you feel that you're similar to them or that you know and understand them very well. Earning someone's trust involves having a genuine commonality with their likes or dislikes. This means that you do things together that you both enjoy. Accessing affinity also means that you seek to find out what the other person enjoys. Then, surrender the credit. You've heard the old saying, give credit where credit's due. No one likes a person who's always taking credit for something that they had little to do with. Surrendering the credit is a way of life that you cultivate in your relationships because you're grateful for them and what they give to you. It is the unconventional mind that understands success isn't about attention and accolades. It's about partnerships and progress. Next, engage with empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand what others are feeling and imagine what they may be experiencing. Our Father's House Soup Kitchen has some great pointers on engaging with empathy. Now listen with the goal to understand the person with whom you're talking. Ask questions with a genuine curiosity. Be present. Don't let your mind wander. Let go of your biases. Refrain from offering unsolicited advice. Look them in the eye when talking with them. Acknowledge their feelings. And there's more, but I'll put a link to that below. Appeal to the noble motives. This is another pointer. President Ronald Reagan was once quoted as saying, "What I would really like to do is go down in history as the president who made Americans believe in themselves again." He had a plaque in his office that read, "There is no limit to what a man can do or where he can go if he doesn't mind who gets the credit." Now, Philippians 2:3 offers good advice. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. Next, share your journey. There's a simple strategy that often helps when engaging with others and gaining their trust. It's called feel, felt, found. Once hearing their story, you can often respond by saying, "Oh, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. And after going through it, here's what I found out." Then you can share your experience. Simply put, when your journey is our journey, we're both compelled to see where it goes. And then finally, throw down a challenge. Charles Schwab once said, "The way to get things done is to stimulate competition." When we compete, we're striving to win because winning generates a feeling of success and importance. When a victory is defined as a team victory for a cause, a country, a cure, or a company, winning is all the more compelling because the competition forces us to communicate and connect with each other. Well, that about does it for this section of Carnegie's book. Now, before you go, if you haven't already done so, I hope that you will consider subscribing. Please give this video a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and as always, make it a successful day.